Alright there, internets. Me as always, Ryan, here on the Ghost Layers channel, right here in Tokyo, Japan. So, hope you guys enjoyed the little intro there. Trying a few different things. My first attempt at that, so hope you enjoyed. By the way, I got some good comments about the flag back here, so for now it's going to stay. Anyways, so a Facebook friend of mine, Brian Williams, brought something interesting to my attention. Something that I kind of know about, but not in this morbid detail. Now, as a lot of y'all know, Japan is a, well, kind of a dying country. The death rate in this nation is around 1.0 a year per total population. It's about 1.2 million people a year. Really high. Really, really high. And we all know by 2040, there'll be 20 million less Japanese people on the planet. But that's not the biggest thing. Those numbers can be reported in almost any report relating to this issue in Japan. The thing that he brought to my attention was a new industry here in Japan. Corpse hotels. Yeah, I know. That sounds pretty damn morbid. But that's exactly what's happening here in Japan. So, this one article he sent me here brings up a place called Lesto. It's in Yokohama. They offer a unique service, and there's lots of these businesses apparently around. What it is like people are dying so fast in Japan that they don't have enough ovens to cook all these people. Yeah, in Japan they don't bury people, they burn them. So yeah, there's a lack of ovens. So the market, to make up for that, has come up with temporary housing for the dearly departed. And these former corpse hotels. Now, I first saw this story, I was taken aback by it a bit, because this has got to be something unique here to Japan. I don't think any other country has anything close to this. Basically what it is these chilled rooms where they put people in them, or the dead, not people, and they wait their turn to be cooked or burned or cremated, or whatever term you want to use. And this is kind of nuts how it's coming out. Where the report brings us out to be is like a lot of the people who used to work in the wedding industry have now moved over to the death industry. Because there's been also, at the same time, while the death rate skyrockets, the marriage rate plummets in Japan. And we're not even going to get into the super high suicide rate here. So, you know, as the wedding industry bombs, the death industry skyrockets, takes off, booms. So a lot of businesses who used to be in the wedding industry are kind of shifting over to the death industry and making lots of money. You know, as this weather support goes, there's a lot of money involved in this. Like, it says 21 billion US dollars a year. That's a lot of money spent on funerals. The Japanese spend an average of, it says here, 1.2 million yen a year. Which annually, you work that out, it's about $21 billion a year. That's massive. That's a big industry. So you can see why a lot of people are doing this. But still, it's just morbid. the things that go on in Japan these days. I'm going to light one up, as always, you know, hope you don't mind. If you do, well, whatever. You're watching it. Let me light this up real quick. So, let's try to get into a few more numbers that this report talks about here. It says it, and excuse my eyesight, a little strained today. But, yeah, the numbers here for it. Yeah. It says that, there's an estimated right now of, and it's growing. And you say they don't know the real number because of the way they calculate data. But right now there apparently is over 2,796 funeral industry related firms. That's coming from METI. That's Japan's Ministry of Economic Trade and Industry. And they found that over a third of these businesses are been in business for like a decade or less. So it's a new industry. And it's taken off big time as more and more Japanese, you know, kick the bucket and die off. And they say that also one of the big problems here is a lack of oversight. That doesn't surprise me. You know, there's a lack of oversight in a lot of industries in Japan. And this one's growing so fast, so quick, they can't keep up with it. So it's inviting a lot of shady business. Namely, the Yakuza. Now, we all know if there's money to be made, and there's lack of regulation in Japan, the Yakuza scoop right in there on it. Like stink on shit, man. You know, if they can get away with something not to be watched, now they'll do it. And they say the big thing Yakuza are doing is like an in-between type of service they're offering. Yeah, the yaks. They're offering like an introduction service, like a middleman between the hospitals and these funeral agencies. And they're pulling a big, pretty penny doing this. I think what they talk about when we get down to that. Yeah, wait a minute. Towards the end of the report, they mention it. Yeah, they're making several million off that. So that's the problems in this industry. Is that it's growing too fast. Government can't keep proper numbers on it. Lack of oversight because it's such a new industry. And the damn mafia are rolling up in there. So it looks like it's a wide open thing. And everybody's trying to get in on it. They say like these big retail chains, even Aeon, one of the big retailers, they're getting on in this biz somehow. They're offering funeral services now. Nuts. Completely wild thing. It's got to be unique to Japan. I said this thing is so damn morbid and shocking. Even to me, and I've been in this country for a while. That's wild. And it's a reflection of just Japan itself and how people say Japan is a dying nation. It really is. I mean, look at the industries that are booming. You know, the deaf industry. Like, could you imagine that for a minute? You know, like Grandpa dies and you can't cremate Grandpa because there's a damn waiting list. So you check Grandpa into a a corpse hotel. Let Grandpa chill at the corpse hotel. Literally chill at the corpse hotel. Until, you know, an open spot opens up and you can burn him. You know, that's... Japan. That's a wild one. You know. And these hotels, yeah, they call them hotels to beat it all. These hotels say that you can visit Grandpa anytime, night or day. Friends, family, loved one. They got a viewing room. They keep them in a temporary storage thing. They roll them on out. You take a look. They roll Grandpa's dead ass back in there. You know, until they got a spot. That just, you know, the delay of closure there must be hard to take. You know, when someone dies, especially someone you're close to, a loved one, a family member, you know, a husband, a wife, you want to start the moving on process, the closure part, as quick as possible. And when you got these people, they can't do that. They got to wait. hold it. Sit there and hold the emotion for a few days longer. They say it can take up to over 4 days to get a spot. And they say another problem here is that they got a not in my backyard thing about opening up new crematories. So that's why they got this backup. And that's why this niche industry has been created. Because nobody wants the crematory in their hood. And I can understand that. But you got to put them somewhere. If you're going to cremate people as a cultural norm, you got to do it somewhere, man. Where are you going to do it? I'm thinking to build these new crematories. Great idea. You know, how about we take all these areas that are kind of beat down, not being used. All these seaside areas in Japan. Yeah, a lot of seaside areas are unusable. Wouldn't take much to open up these crematories in those areas where nobody wants to build a house, nobody wants to live, you can't really put a beach there. You know, build the crematories there, out in somewhere in the boonies, you know. It would create another niche market, transportation. You know, imagine that. You know, you got industry making money, hauling corpses out to the middle of nowhere so the family can burn them. There's a way to make money. Instead of having this morbid stuff where nobody wants to give in, so the market creates something to deal with it. Know what happens when they run out of room for the corpse hotels? What then? And what if people find out in the local hood? What if people find out there's a corpse hotel? Would you want to live near that? You know? So I guess they got to be low key. You know? I guess it's better than having a crematory. But you got to put them somewhere, guys. And crematories are real sanitary and hygienic. It's not like, you know, you're going to get the poison from the burn off. It's not how it works. If you know how a crematory works, they just don't pump the stuff into the air. You know, there's a self-regulating capture of the smoke. It catches itself, and when they turn it off, it cools down. Smoke turns into ash. The ash falls down. They don't pump it out, man. And they're not pumping the waste out. You know. Excuse me for a second. I've been hooked on ginger ale recently. Good old ginger ale. Yeah, no chew hot tonight. So this has been brought to my attention. You know. And I can see this getting worse. Yeah, no one wants the crematories built anywhere. They're not gonna. You know, and this industry is gonna keep going up. And I see it easily becoming criminal. People are gonna start getting ripped off on caskets and other services they don't need, they don't want. But they don't say no because, you know, it's for Grandpa. Give him the best send-off possible. You know. And then it's going to be more ironic when the wedding companies and these deaf corpse hotel companies start to merge. Could you imagine that? You get married in the same place where they keep dead bodies. You know, imagine the irony of that. I can see that happening easily. And that won't be regulated. You know, you can die the same place you get married. Oh, Lord, that's wild. That's a wild. I just had to bring this one up. That's, you know, Brian just asked me by request to look at this one. So here it is. Here's my thoughts on it. Overall, that's nuts. And it just shows a reflection of what's going on in Japan, this dying nation. At least somebody's making money, you know, in this stagnant economy. There's some industry booming. Too bad, you know. But what I've seen, industries are booming right now, you know. You love hotels. You look at that up, you don't know what that is, really. That always makes money. The funerals, you know, and Yakuza. So, you know, racketeering, pachinko, you know, death, and having wild, crazy sex. That's making money in Japan right now. Anyways, I'm going to finish this up, guys. That's just, you know, a little bit here. What's going on in Japan. We got corpse hotels, guys. Ah, wow. So until next time, as always, is Ryan. Check it out. Oi.